Hey there, everyone. How are you doing today? So I wanted to kind of outline or share an idea with you that I've been playing with for the last 3 or 4 days. I honestly don't have it all worked out yet. I think I think I'll be able to kind of share my intention with you. I'm sharing this early because I want feedback. I want ideas. You know, I just want to make sure this is helpful. So without further ado, let me bring up this presentation I'm working on and kind of get your input. Really what this came from is I believe talk is cheap. I've been on this planet now for, nearly 48 years. I have seen rhetoric in the past that frankly was lip service and nothing got better. I'm in a situation where I can only look myself in the mirror and try to help. Obviously, I will do my part in interactions and whatnot to improve things. But I want to put some money up because I think talk is cheap and we need to do more. I want to, drop one little pebble in and hope others follow and see what we really can do together. This idea really bolds from the one rental at a time story. It really comes from home ownership. One thing that is very clear, at least in my life experience, is owning a home. My parents owning a home via the GI Bill, buying in Sunnyvale, California, is one of the best things they ever did financially. It was, frankly, something that was used as a piggy bank throughout the years. It was something that they used, for example, to send my sister to college. They used it at sometimes just to keep food in the refrigerator because it was a struggle many times growing up. But again, I firmly believe that home ownership is a path to a better future. In addition to that, I'm sitting here talking to you on YouTube, selling a book called One Rental at a Time, putting out a course that is helping more and more people. And when I look at it, I am making an extra $2,000 to $3,000 simply by doing what I want to do, which is help people. So I could look at that extra money and go do something, right? Talking to a friend of mine the other day, he was like, wow, you're making, an extra $2,000 a month. Why don't you go buy a Ferrari or something? And frankly, that's not who I am. I love my life already. So instead of splurging that newfound income, which has been pretty consistent for 6 or 7 months, I find myself asking, what could I do with that? Could I take those funds maybe over the course of 6 or 9 months as it builds, right? And could I use that to help somebody? Could I help somebody get into their first single family home? And I think the answer is yes. So this is what I'm thinking. I don't have it all worked out yet. I'm sharing this again to get feedback from, other folks. You may have seen something out there. But here's my thought is, if you can get a first-time home, you can get an FHA loan or an FHA approved loan with 3.5% down. So my thinking is, how can I help someone with that 3.5% down? Could I gift it? Maybe. Could I maybe lend it? Maybe. Lending is interesting at some rates, maybe 0% or whatever is interesting because I could recycle the money. If I gift it, it's kind of gone and I can't reuse it. Maybe I match it. Maybe I come in for half that and I help twice as many people. Again, this is important to me. This is something we are absolutely going to take an attempt at in 2020 and see how it works out. Again, I could probably do this once a year probably every 9 to 10 months, just with what I have extra coming in from one rental at a time. So, by supporting one rental at a time, this is what I'm doing with those funds. It's going to be interesting. The extra 2 or 3 grand, again, could buy something really nice if I wanted, but that's not what I want. I would much rather try to help one family a year into their first home. So I'm already working with 2 friends, Stratton Brown, who has been on this channel before, and Michael Butler, who has been interviewed on this channel before. They are both good friends of mine in Fresno. I'm going to ask them to help select the family. Again, we are still planning this out in real time. I talked to Stratton yesterday morning. He was going to talk to Michael. We will likely do a video on this channel. Right now, we're thinking, maybe single parent. That is important to Stratton, perhaps. We're thinking price points below 300 grand. We do need the applicant to be approved for an FHA loan that provides us leverage and speed. We'd have to work with a bank to see how they want us to do this, whether it's a gift or a second or whatnot. Again, lots of details to work on. One thing I know for sure is I'm not going to pick the family. I'm going to let Stratton and Michael do that. That way they, I'm a big softy and not in a position to do that well. So I'll let Stratton and Michael make those choices. Again, I think it's important. We're not gifting a house to someone. We're not building a house for someone. I don't have the financial wherewithal to do that. I am comfortable taking the extra 2 or 3 grand and using that to help people. But I'm not gonna do something that says, hey, it's such a big hit that I need to go get a job again, right? That's not what this is about. But if we can find families in Fresno that can qualify for an FHA loan, but they need help with the down payment, maybe the down payment would take too much away from their emergency reserve. These are the things I'm thinking about. So again, if we can help with the 3.5% down, on a $250,000 house, that's like $9,000. Hence, I could take, 6, 8, 10 months of the income I'm getting by selling this book and courses. We really could help somebody every year, which would just make me feel good. And again, owning a home was a big part of my youth. And it's only upon looking back at it that you realize our lives would have been fundamentally different if we were renters. We would have likely had to move several times if we didn't have that house. And it just hits, you that home ownership is really a cornerstone to better financial future. Again, the ideas are still forming. I think it's pretty clear that we're going to focus on the down payment, right? Do we match it? Which means we can help twice as many people, because I'm committed to the funds. That's not going to change. But if we did a match and then we only come in for 1.75% of the down payment, that means we can help twice as many people. Could it be a gift? That means we can't help as much. Could we do a 0% second with some kind of small payment? There's lots of ideas coming. I'd love to hear from you. This is something that we're going to use with Michael and Stratton to help the Black community first in Fresno. But if this continues, we will extend it, I'm sure. But we're gonna make our stand in 2020 by helping somebody get their first home. Again, we're gonna help a Black family become owners. They will need to meet the FHA guidelines, because again, they're gonna have a bank say yes to a first. And then we're gonna figure out how this works. I'm not going to inundate this with process. Yes, I've had some people I talk to say create a nonprofit. That takes too long. I want to do something this year. We need to move forward. We need, I'm going to do something to help. Olivia and I, it's important to us to try to take a positive step forward. And if we could do one a year, great. If this becomes something that becomes bigger than us, great. Again, I do not have all the answers just yet. So in the end, for me, this has come because of what I'm seeing going on in the world. It's really, talk is cheap. You know, I'm going to be committing tens of thousands of dollars to this, likely every year going forward. I'm going to enlist the support of Stratton and Michael to help make selections. We do have some caveats, clearly, because again, we can't help everyone. But if we can just make a small dent and move forward and maybe lead by example, I think that is important. Again, I'd love your feedback, love your ideas. This is something that is absolutely going to happen in 2020 at least once. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you informed. We'll keep you up to date. Again, Michael and Stratton and I have just started talking about this in the last 3 or 4 days. Look for a video of the 3 of us shortly, kind of as we round this out together. But again, talk is cheap. What can we all do to just make it a little bit better? That's what I'm thinking about these days. Thanks.